And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 70. I'm, of course, just live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to your bi-weekly dose of Korean StarCraft. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. First, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is beautiful, and we are jumping into our first series here in the round of 16. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. Representing Team Falcons, it is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. It is ReBellioN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you can get your Gamba going. And we dive into our first best of 3 of the day. Let's go, man. Let us go. Again, good to see you all once again. This is a bi-weekly tournament. If you want to help support the KSL, exclamation mark KSL in the chat, and you will get a link to the Patreon. Patreon is where you need to be to support the event. Likewise, Patreon also the place to be to help or to actually gain some replay packs as well from these tournaments, all done via Patreon for the KSL. So much love to the community, much love to everyone involved in the Patreon. Shout out to Chicken Man, shout out to Dave Testa as well for organizing and for hosting the event and for allowing us all to jump in and to cast as well. So big shout out to Chicken and Dave, or Chicken Man and Dave, as we settled into our TvP. Also, before I get ahead of myself, if you're in the chat, Babika, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Quinton Suits in the chat for subscribing for 9 months. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. As I said again, double gas opener here, Pastor Factory, delayed TC. Likewise, ReBellioN going for standard opener himself. They're bantering with each other. I don't know what they're saying. If there's anyone that knows Korean in the chat, let us know. Let us know. Vámonos. When it comes to the overall bracket, we'll be going over the bracket after the series. After the series, we'll be going over the challenge bracket, catching up with the upcoming matches, with what's going on, with any updates and future matches as well. We'll get into it. We'll get there. We will get there. I also do apologize. I wasn't able to go live last night. We were casting Amantis, of course, yesterday morning, and Amantis did last a lot longer than I assumed. It was a 6-hour, mate. It was a 6-hour cast. It was crazy. It was a 6-hour cast yesterday, and it was really good. It was a really good cast. It was really good games, really good matches. It was an amazing broadcast. But after those 6 hours, we were scheduled to cast OSC in 3 hours time. 3 hours after that, and it was also going to be another long event. And I didn't quite have it in me, especially because I could cast it, but we were going to be covering the finals of the OSC Season 12 Championship, and I didn't want it to be low energy, especially for the finals. I didn't want like a low energy cast. So as a result, we did reschedule the OSC cast for a couple of days, I believe Monday. So Monday we're going to be covering the OSC mid-season playoffs finals. I'm still going to make sure that we're well rested for that. Likewise, we didn't want to go over the Pigsty event. Apparently, Pig, he was hosting the group stage this week, and also at the same time slot as the OSC cast, so we didn't want to go over, especially because a lot of people do want to watch the Pigsty event, so did decide to postpone until after Pig's event does conclude. So it's all good. That is the plan. Otherwise, we're here. Otherwise, we are here. For the time being, Reaper dips in. Reaper gets 1. Oh my god, Reaper gets 4. Jesus. 1 scouting probe across the map. He gets 3 probe kills here. Nice damage so far by Bunny. Very nicely done. As a reminder, this was double gas opener. What does this lead into? This leads into early tank push. What do we see? Not just a tank. I see a medevac on the way. So we are moving out with an early tank drop. Hyper aggressive build here by Bunny. It makes sense. We're loading into Whispers of Gold. This map is known for being a rush map, and speaking of rushing, that's what we're doing. We are rushing across the map. We send everything across, and the goal here is to break ReBellioN here and now. Now ReBellioN, he did go for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. How many gates? So far, 2 gate Blink, 3 gate Blink into a Robo. Relatively safe start. Does have a safety shield battery, and he does scout the move out. Oh, going for the medevac. Does get a couple of shots off. And we'll see if he can focus anything down. So far, he's delaying the push. He's buying time for extra warpins, buying time for the own defensive immortal. Ooh, tank volley does go off. The immortal is going to be necessary here as ReBellioN. There we go. Immortal now has begun. Was delayed by a couple of seconds. was delayed. Bunny, he reinforces with a second tank. Oh, ReBellioN, he barely doesn't intercept. He can catch a couple of Marines, but alas, that is 2 tanks moving forward. Bunny is getting within range, getting on top of that cyber core. Oh, massive tank bodies going up. And ReBellioN, he's going to have to dive in. It's not going to be pretty, but oh god, he's taking too many shots, taking a lot of shots already. A lot of tank volleys going off. Bunny, he unsieges, he's turning back around. He's getting the hell out of here. He catches the stalkers, he gets 1. Takes down 1 stalker, the other is going to be hunted down. Takes down 2 stalkers. He rotates. Reinforcements still in the way. He will try to fight this head on, but last Marine count is getting lower. Trading with the stalkers though. He does still trade with the stalkers. Trading relatively well here. Oh, the kind of up, the jump play. The micro. He's gonna overwhelm. These stalkers are 1 shot away from going down, and we still have more reinforcements coming in. 3rd tank has arrived, and Bunny, he's overwhelming. He's overwhelming. Now, thankfully, there is an immortal, but it is on its own. Ooh, Liberator does go down in the main. Stalkers to catch more reinforcements. Tanks within range of that cyber core. ReBellioN just keeps pushing, catching up with 3 Marines. That was another 4 probes going down to the lib. Up, tank moves forward. Is not going to trade with the tank. Immortal goes down. The first tank is finally going to go down, but the trades so far have been solid, and Bunny's not done. He's going for that cyber core. He's going to get it as well. We'll get it. At this point, he should leave. At this point, he's overstayed his welcome, and we will punish this. Oh my god. Taking out 1 tank. 1 tank barely survives. Barely does boost away. What's important here is that ReBellioN, he did preserve his natural, and he got away with a 3rd. 3rd base is on the way. So ReBellioN, he's still in this game. Up! 1 more shot. Oh, does get the final tank. Very nicely done. So all 3 tanks go down. ReBellioN does clean up eventually, but did lose workers, did lose the cyber core, did bleed out a lot of stalkers as well. Bunny may not have killed ReBellioN, true, but Bunny did trade well enough, and now he's going to build up, back up. Now we shouldn't really be seeing a Bunny move out without his upgrades. Waiting for Stim, Combat Shields +1, Concussive Shell, Medevacs, waiting for all these upgrades to line up before going for that second move out. Stim is already done though. Stim is done, catching another Stalker. Bunny going to be moving out, this time with only a single tank. He has less of a backbone to his army this time. Lucky now he has Marauders. Yeah, Marauders, they come into play. He can trade that much better here against these Stalkers. ReBellioN just cannot keep up. Not against this kind of... Not against this kind of aggression. Not after losing so many Stalkers already. This was far too much. An Immortal, 8 Stalkers, 3 Zealots. Trying to reinforce. Charge is done in a couple of seconds. He needs more time. Bunny does stim in. Sims in, takes out the pylon. No shield battery. ReBellioN is up against the wall. Gonna try to rush forward. Mine's just going up with connections of the Zealots. Stalkers, they blink in, but the tank volleys are brutal. And the Stalkers, they go down to the tanks. They go into everything. GG gets called, and Bunny, he breaks the back of ReBellioN, and Bunny will take game number 1. GG. Just hyper aggression out of Bunny here at the gates, going for the early tank drop across the map. But again, we expect aggression here out of Bunny when it comes to Whispers of Gold. These smaller maps, they do favor aggressive styles. They do favor this build out of Bunny. The question becomes, what map is next? That's what I'm most interested in. Where does this lead into, and where do we go? As that will most likely influence how Bunny will approach this. Do we load into another smaller map like Ultra Love or Ley Lines, or do we load into a larger map instead? Bearing in mind that we do feature a unique map pool in this tournament. Maps like Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square, and King's Cove are not available here in KSL, as is the case with most online events, to be fair. Most online events do remove those maps. Here we go. Getting into our next game. Oh. And game 2 is going to be on Ley Lines. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. Taking a cast off. Rest that map. Yes, into a dangerous thing. Ah, no. Yeah, I just I mean, again, I could have casted, but I was just a little bit concerned that it would just be very low energy, which is not what I want for the finals of a tournament. So is rescheduled to Monday. But here we go. We're jumping into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss from South Korea down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is ReBellioN. We go. Are those in-game micro lag issues to the server? Yes. Unfortunately, the routing to the Korean server can at times be a little bit unstable. You can see here that it's fine, but every now and then, depending on which kind of server we get routed to in Korea, as there's multiple servers, some are more unstable than others, unfortunately. The players didn't experience anything, it's just our connection to it. Go. To have ReBellioN going for a standard opener. Likewise, Bunny double gas once again double gas opener. Now this doesn't have to lead into the same build. This is going to lead into a faster factory, that is true, but honestly Bunny has a lot of options here. This can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion, this can go into early Banshee, true, this can lead into an early tank drop, can lead to early Cyclones, can lead into a committed Widowmine drop. There are options here with how Bunny wants to open up, some more aggressive than others, some more committed than others as well. Regardless, it is going to be a delayed CC, and we'll see what direction Bunny does take us in. Now, I don't imagine it's going to be the same build, to be honest. Like, usually you want to vary it up. We saw a tank drop in game 1. We're expecting something different here in game number 2, as we expect ReBellioN to be a little bit better mentally and physically prepared for something like that tank drop, assuming how he does open up. So far, still settling in, soon going for our tech of choice. On a map like ley lines, I would say it's a little bit risky to open up Stargate, so we should be expecting a Twilight Council opener. Waiting for the tech. Oh, there it is. Okay, Stargate. Bold move. Bold move going for the Stargate here. We talk about this all the time. Stargate play is viable in this matchup in PvT, but Stargate openers are typically reserved for larger maps. Maps that a lot of them actually are removed from this KSL map pool, by the way, like your King's Cove, Abyssal Reef, Neo-Violet Square. That's kind of where these openers can thrive a little bit more. On these smaller maps, it can be more risky as you are vulnerable to early game aggression. Considering the double gas opener, we will be getting into aggressive play here as we're going Cyclone first into Medevac. Now this can lead Cyclone first into Medevac into a tank, into a more of a delayed tank drop, but with Cyclone support. We'll see if he makes a tank after this or not. And there it is. Yep, there's a tank. So this is going to be a tank drop similar to the previous game. But remember, last game we had an earlier tank and we had continued tank production. This time we lead with the Cyclone. And remember, there was no Cyclone involved in the previous game. Likewise, because of the early reactor, we have extra Marines, and I don't know if you noticed, this is a one base all in. That's why we have more Marines than usual. This is a straight up one base all in. There is no expansion, there is no natural, and I'll be honest, this is almost a hard counter to what ReBellion's doing. Stargate openers, the reason why they are risky on small maps, the reason why you are vulnerable early on, because this Oracle and Phoenixes, they don't really help here. What can they do? They're going to be shut down by the Cyclone. Speaking of, Cyclone gets a lock on, and the Oracle takes a lot of damage here, already taking some hull damage. But again, the Oracle, there we go, stasis traps. That's what we have to rely on. Stasis traps are on the way. If they can connect, then they can slow this down. Alas, Bunny, does he notice? He does. He does notice, baits out the stasis, and the Oracle can't really do much else. Another stasis on the way. Remember, there's no blink. Fleet beacon? What? He's rushing into it. He's crazy. Hey, he's dead. He's rushing into a fleet beacon. He's rushing into Sky Toss, rushing into a mothership or into Tempest. We're not going to get there, though. Fleet beacon is going to finish, don't get me wrong, but the army is knocking down that front door. That's a crazy build here by ReBellioN. Stargate opener into fleet beacon. Yep, rushing into Tempest. Let's go. Tempest on the way. But alas, it is a one base all in, and by the time the Tempest arrives, the natural is not going to be existent. It's going to be gone at this point as Bunny is pushing forward. I mean, looking at the Tempest, it looks like it will arrive in a couple of seconds, and that will help somewhat. And Bunny's taking his time. taking his time, slowly encroaching on the base with these bunkers. Tempest can try to focus down the lib, can try to focus down the tanks. Well, maybe we don't say the tanks. The bunker at least. Going for the Viking. Ooh, takes a lot of damage already. Does take a lot of damage. Shield battery does help support. Yeah, he wants to rush in. Scans, baits out the stasis. There's a mass salvage. I mean, that Tempest more than anything has suddenly put urgency into Bunny. Does rush forward, sieges up, and he will knock down this position. Yeah, the shield batteries are being targeted down, and the Tempest thereafter did get the Viking though. Viking did fall. As the natural has been broken. Liberation zone here at the ramp. Natural's going to go down. And again, as soon as the Tempest was revealed, bam, mass salvage, pushes forward. Knows that there's nothing to stop him. Workers are going to fall. The boys are being pulled in. And they're all going to go down. Now there is a second Tempest, true. Second Tempest has arrived. The army is moving forward. Setting up in the liberation zone. Oh, the Tempest, no, get out of here. One more volley. Tempest goes down. One Tempest left. One Tempest remains. Oof. And there are no shield batteries. Viking does go down. Impressive range for the Tempest. You see Bunny still rallying everything across the map. Still one base all in. And there's a second Tempest in production. Fleet beacon gets depowered. Oh. And it's going to be targeted. So this is going to be the final Tempest. But you can see the Marine cannon is getting low. He's two-shotting the Marines. Now he can one-shot the Marines. Oh. Likewise brings down one of the tanks. Gets a Viking. Behind this, zero economy. Zero mining, zero economy here. Eventually, ReBellioN, he's going to be overwhelmed. It was, again, impressive to see him attempt to rush into Tempest like this. And in a standard game state, this could have been somewhat successful. But Bunny had other plans. He had other plans here in the series, both in Game 1 and in Game 2. Hyper aggression. GG gets called, and Bunny, he snowballs out of control with the one base all in, and will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played, Bunny. He will claim the series, will advance on. Again, hyper aggression game. I mean, I just assumed, he did go for a different build. I was going to say, I just assumed that he would go for a different build in Game 2. He did, but he just doubled down and went even more aggressive. Went for the reactor on that Rex, into Cyclone, into Tank, into Starport, into one base all in, Mass Marine, and just committed then and there. Even pulled a couple of boys to throw down those bunkers, and with that, Bunny does claim the series. GG. Does claim the series. And the question becomes, who will he play against next? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Here we go.